and welcome to Charwell, the Farming Agency edition. Right, so this map is an oldish map that was one of the first maps to come out on Farming Simulator 19. It's actually a really good map, probably overshadowed at times, but it is an excellent map. So what it's had is it's had a complete rework, a revamp, let's call it, where it's now pretty much at the forefront of the MAIZE+ project, let's say, that's going on with the Farming Agency team. And they've actually done an amazing job of updating this map now to obviously be MAIZE+ ready, let's say. So obviously the MAIZE+ add-on, the MAIZE+ Forage extension add-on, CCM add-on, and now the horse extension add-on. So a lot's changed from the original MAIZE+ that was on Sandy Bay. There's a lot more features added. It's really impressive. So this is not going to be my Let's Play. This is going to be just some small tutorial videos explaining certain things about MAIZE+, the horse extension, and this map in general. So this map is going to be, let's say, the template for all future maps that are going to have obviously the horse plus, MAIZE+ kind of thing implemented into the map. Obviously you still need to apply the MAIZE+ mod and activate that, as well as the CCM and also the MAIZE+ Forage extension. But the horse extension, that's not a mod, that's automatically implemented into the map. So going forward, all the maps that are being created by quite a handful of partners, let's say, in the Farming Agency program. So there's Oxygen David and them kind of people that are obviously making maps right now. Hopefully all the maps that are going to come out, as long as they're partnered with Alien Paul and the Farming Agency, this is how it's pretty much going to look like. So hopefully they'll have these features implemented. So obviously it's really good, and it obviously changes quite a lot. So if you like realism, you're into farming on that kind of style where it's extended the gameplay, added realistic features, made it more unique in depth, that kind of stuff, this is definitely for you. And if you like the MAIZE+ on Sandy Bay, well, this is 2.0, so this is the upgraded version to it. This video is going to be about maize, so maize silage. It's going to be about whole crop silage, it's going to be about grass silage, and it's going to be about CCM. So what I'm going to basically be doing is just showing you the different types of feed, let's say, how to make them, what to do, and yeah, hopefully it helps everyone out. Right, so let's get on with it. Okay, so I've jumped over to field 75. Several fields I've set up different pieces of equipment that you'll need for the different types of crop that I'm going to show you. I just want to make a disclaimer that first that this is still early days. I'm still learning quite a lot. Hopefully what I've learned will help. There might be things that you could do differently. There might be things that I've missed out. However, if you want to make maize silage, I'm going to show you how to do that. And if you want to make whole crop silage, I'm going to show you how to do that. So, like I said, there might be things down the line that you could do better or differently. If that is the case, drop it in the comments. I'll make sure to look and obviously take that in. And obviously you can help someone else out if you do that as well. Right, so let's talk about maize silage, corn, whatever you want to call it. So, what's maize silage? Maize silage is basically a feed type that's going to be used in the game. You make it from corn. Some animals use fresh maize, some animals use maize silage. So sheep, for example, they use fresh maize instead of obviously maize silage or anything like that. So you can put that in one of their categories for instead of grass, clover or grass silage. So you do have an option to use fresh maize there. So it can come in handy for sheep. It also can be the same for pigs, who obviously can have fresh maize. Or clover silage or clover or grass in that category. So you could be using fresh maize. Depends what you want to do really at that point. Cows though, they're the ones that are pretty much going to be using maize silage. So horses don't use, as you can see, any maize at all. So maize silage is basically for cows. So what do you do if you want to make maize silage? Well, basically you can either do it in a bale, you can wrap it, ferment it that way, or you can obviously use a forage harvester, chop it up, put it into a trailer, and then obviously take it to a pit and ferment it that way. So all you have to do, get yourself a trailer that obviously hitches on the back if you're playing on your own. If you want to try and use course play and set it up, you can have it to the side, or you can set the helper up to do it for you, and then you can run down the side. Or you can be playing multiplayer, and then, you know, it's even easier. So I'm just going to show you if you're playing single player and you want to do the actual forage harvesting yourself. So all you do is chop it like you would chaff in the original vanilla game, but when it goes into the trailer, it turns into fresh maize, as you can see in the bottom right corner. So I won't do that much because I mean I don't need to do the whole field, but as you can see, fresh maize is now inside the trailer, and obviously then just take it to a silo, clamp, bunker, whatever you want to call it, and then you pretty much compact it like you would chaff or grass silage or even whole crop silage, which we'll get to, and then you wrap it, or you put your sheet over, sorry, and then pretty much you wait for it to ferment, and that's technically how to make maize silage. Really simple. So you're basically doing it from corn, so like I said, really simple. Another thing you can do is you could obviously say get that trailer like this one is, full of maize, fresh maize, and then you can wrap it. So if you want to wrap it, you can obviously figure out the best way for you to do it. This is what I normally would do. Depending on the map, the map might have some kind of bunker set up, a bit like Hofbergen's map, where if you want to wrap maize silage, it's got a kind of little pit area where you can tip it into and then roll over it with the baler. It's kind of set up perfectly. So if not, you can just do it like this. So get yourself a trailer with a grain door. It's obviously full of fresh maize. You can then just set it out. It'll look like a bit of a swath or a windrow, and then just drive forward. Pretty straightforward, really. So yeah, as you can see, bit of a windrow, whatever you want to call it, swath, all set up, and then all you have to do is go over it with a baler. So you can go over it with, you know, a normal combi baler that wraps as well, or you can obviously go over it, which I'll show you in a minute, with a normal baler and then a wrapper after. So as you can see, there's a bale of fresh maize. Obviously got its own textures as well, which is nice. It'll say fresh maize on seasons, or if you're not running seasons, it'll automatically be fermented maize or maize silage. So as you can see, there's quite a bit of time to go for it to ferment. That's just because of the fact that I'm running, I think, 24 days at the moment, just because I was trialing things out. So yeah, again, really simple. Make yourself a fresh maize bale, wrap it, it'll ferment over time, and there you've got maize silage. So we'll do this one, and then we'll wrap it just to show you that it works that way as well, and then we'll have a good look at the actual textures of a fresh maize bale. So as you can see, obviously got its own textures, nice wrap texture as well on it. The netting around it looked good as well. So yeah, just wrap it with any kind of wrapper that you've got. So I'm using the latest DLC, the wrapper that came with that. There you go, another bale of fresh maize that will obviously ferment over time. So yeah, really simple. That's how you make maize silage. So next, what I'm going to show you is I'm going to show you whole crop silage, which is a little bit different. So what I've got set up in this field's number 72, is I've got some wheat that's already ready to harvest. So what I'm going to do is the exact same that I started doing with the maize, which is forage harvester, trailer hitched on the back. Again, depending on how you're playing, single player, multiplayer, anything like that, you probably want to configure that to what suits you best. And then what's going to go into the trailer is whole crop silage fresh, which is basically chopped up crop of any type that's not grass or maize. So if you're going to chop barley, anything basically that's not grass or maize, you will get whole crop silage. Now if you put that in the pit, you can make bales from it depending on what you're going to do, but the bales is a little bit different, which I'll show you in a second. So yeah, there you go. So all you do now is take it to a pit, like I said, stick it in a bunker, you know, compact it, and then sheet it up. Jobs are good. Right, so the only difference now is if you want to make a bale, you can't use the trailer that's got fresh whole crop in. So, for example, like I showed you on maize, I had the trailer set up, I used the grain door and I made a little row. If you do that, the baler won't pick it up and it won't basically wrap it. So you can't make a bale from fresh whole crop silage or even fermented whole crop silage. So to do that, to make a bale of whole crop silage, you basically have to use a mower. Now, you can use any type of mower. You can have like just a small mower, the biggest mower like this one. It doesn't really matter. But the main thing is to mow it. So I think I've got this set to swath, but we'll find out. There we go. So what's dropping to the ground now is something called crop swath. You can see it in the menu, which I'll quickly just show you. If you see it there next to semi-hay, it says crop swath. So from crop swath, you can then obviously go over it with a baler and wrap it into whole crop silage. It'll start off in the bale when it's wrapped and it'll say crop swath. After it ferments, it turns into whole crop silage. So that's the only difference. You can't put fresh whole crop silage on the ground. You have to use a mower and then obviously bale it as crop swath. Also, if you want to use a pickup wagon or a pickup trailer, whatever you want to call it, you need to then mow it, make a swath, and then pick it up as crop swath. Stick that into the pit. When you've sheeted it up and compacted it, you'll notice that it ferments into whole crop silage. Also, when you put it into the pit, it will say to you that obviously you've put whole crop in and the pit's got a certain, so the volume in that pit will say, I don't know, let's say 150,000 litres of whole crop silage. So yeah, it's important that you know if you want to make whole crop silage either as a bale or pick it up with a loading wagon, then you really need to use a mower, and then either, depending on what kind of mower you're using, if it doesn't obviously generate a windrow, then you need to windrow it, and then pick it up with your loading wagon, stick it in your pit that way, or you can then make a bale from it, which I'll show you in a second. If you're obviously doing it that way that I've just showed you with the forage harvester, it will go in the trailer's whole crop fresh. You can then take that to the pit and then put it in that way. So basically all it means is the pipe on the forage harvester can send whole crop silage fresh into a trailer, but you can't pick whole crop silage up fresh with a baler or with a loading wagon. So you need to make sure you do it that way. So hopefully I explained that well enough. So as you can see now, I'm picking up the crop swath on the ground, and it's stating that there's crop swath. Then again, I won't show you with the baler and wrapper, I'll just show you with the combi, so it's the same. You make a bale. It doesn't matter what type of bale you're using, it doesn't matter if you're doing bales and then wrapping, or if you're using a combi like this, it really doesn't matter. As long as it's crop swath, it'll pick it up. And then this now will say 4,000 litres of crop swath. And if I use the little seasons tool, it'll tell me it's fermenting. And then when it's finished fermenting, it'll turn into whole crop silage. So that's how you make whole crop silage, as a bale, or if you want to put it into the pit. So you use a forage harvester on a crop type that's not grass or maize, and then you obviously take it to the pit, or you bale it after mowing it. I've just jumped over to two pits that I've got set up. This one's got maize silage in that's 91% compacted. So all I did was obviously pick up fresh maize, from the forage harvester into the trailer, and then put it into the pit, compact it a little bit. I haven't put that much in, just a little bit, just to show you. And then with this one I had a trailer of crop swath, just to show you that it does go in as whole crop silage fresh. So all we need to do when you put them in the pit, obviously, is just make sure you roll over it till it says 100% compacted. Just like chaff is in the vanilla game, the only difference is you can obviously make a different type of feed, so a different product, and then it's going to, at the end, give you the feed type that you obviously desire. And obviously it's got its own textures as well. So we'll quickly just finish these off, and then we'll sheet them up. And there we go. Right, so we'll just wrap this, or put a blanket on, sorry. So as you can see, it says fermenting maize silage 1%. When it gets to 100%, you can obviously take the blanket off, and then you'll have the different textured, finished maize silage. And the same with the whole crop silage, so just put the blanket on. It says 1% fermenting, and the same when this finishes, you'll have fermented whole crop silage. Right, so I've just spawned to the ground some, obviously, whole crop silage. So this is the fermented, so this is what the texture will look like when you take the blanket off. And then this is maize silage, so fermented maize, and that again will look like that underneath there when you take the blanket off. So there you finished products. Right, so I've jumped over to field 74. We're now going to talk about grass, or grass silage. So grass in the game has changed completely, and I'm going to do a video on the drying stages now. So pretty much the tedding and all that kind of stuff. It all changes the different stages. It's different for seasons, and it's obviously different without seasons, so I'm going to do a video on that exactly. But I'm just going to show you in this one how to do grass silage itself. It's pretty straightforward again. There's just a few little things that you probably need to keep in mind when doing it. So what I'm going to show you to make grass silage can also apply to alfalfa and clover. So if you want to make alfalfa silage or clover silage, you can do what I'm going to show you now in the exact same way on that crop type, and you'll get the crop version of silage that you want. So to make grass silage, you can use 3 different types of grass. So you can use the standard grass, which is what's in front of me, which is what we're going to be using. Or you can use pasture grass, which I've put in this field. Or you can use horse grass, which I've just spawned in. I think the texture on this looks absolutely amazing. It's kind of like moving in the wind. But yeah, so that's really impressive. So you've got the different types of grass. So with horse grass, you have to be careful if you want to make grass silage from that. You can make grass silage from the first stage of cutting before tedding, which is, let's call that wet horse grass. If you bale that off, you'll make grass silage. If you then go and ted it once, it'll turn into horse grass windrow. So not wet anymore, but it's not dry, so it's like horse grass windrow. If you bale that off as well, you'll get grass silage. However, if you ted it again, so a second time, if you try and then bale it off, you won't get grass silage. So just keep that in mind if you're trying to make grass silage from any horse grass that you've got. Right, so what I'm quickly going to do is we're just going to mow some of the standard grass. I'm going to make a swath. And I'll do another one to the right of it, just so I can show you the difference in a second after I ted it. Right, so I've just gone down with the baler. I've picked up the fresh grass, the wet version. It's then now wrapping it like it would do originally. So pretty much the standard what's in the vanilla game or even on vanilla seasons, and then you've got silage grass. And it's obviously fermenting. Right, so what I've just done is I've mowed some areas. It came off as fresh or wet grass. I then sped it up 2 days after baling off, and then what I've got here now is a grass silage bale that's fully fermented. So you want to make grass silage, it's pretty straightforward on seasons and without seasons. Just mow the grass, make a windrow, and then go over it with a baler. The only difference is if you want to put it in a pit, you have to ted it once. So the reason for that is you can't put wet grass into a bunker. So you have to use what Alien Paul's calling silo grass, or technically just grass that's been tedded at least once. If you go any more than once, you don't need to. You can do. You can then put it in. If you're not playing with seasons, it's probably a good idea to turn the tedder on. Yeah, so if you're not playing with seasons and you kind of go too far, you'll notice that you're making hay, whereas with seasons that won't happen. You have to leave it out to dry. So as you can tell, I've gone over this a little bit. This is now changing texture. I'm going to get into this in more detail on another video about how to make hay on seasons, what you have to do now, tedding and all that kind of stuff. But you need to know this if you're trying to make grass silage in a pit, that you have to ted it once, and then obviously what you're going to do is you're going to go over it with a windrow and then pick it up with a loading wagon, anything like that. And as you can see, as I'm going over this for the third time, it's also changing texture again. But we'll get into that in another video, like I've said. Right, so I won't go and pick this up. What I'll do is I'll just quickly cut to one of the bunkers that I've set up with grass silage. I've got some fresh grass silage in a trailer, and I'll show you that the actual bunker won't accept it. So I'll just quickly cut to that. Right, so I'm at the bunker. I've got fresh grass or wet grass inside this. Try to unload it, and it says this action cannot be performed here. So what I'll do now is I'll quickly put in the next stage of grass after tedding it once. So now I've got the grass windrow in, which is what the texture was after once of drying or once of tedding. And then now go into the pit. Try to unload it, it'll accept it. So you need to keep this in mind if you're obviously trying to put it into a pit and you want to do grass silage that way. You can't just mow it and then obviously put it straight in to the pit, or else it won't accept it. So that obviously changes if you're using a forage harvester to chop up the grass straight with like some kind of mower and then picking up that way. The best thing to do there is do what most farmers realistically do, especially in the UK, which is they use a forage harvester with it's kind of like a pickup attachment to the front, so it doesn't mow, it's just picking it up and chopping it. So what you'll do as the farmer, for example, is you'll mow the grass, you'll ted it once, you'll then put it into rows. Contractor, for example, or whoever comes onto the farm with a forage harvester, picks it up, chops it, put it into a trailer, it then goes into a pit. That's what happens on pretty much most farms. So it's more realistic now. You can't just put really wet grass into a pit. It has to be tedded once. So like I said, more realistic, and I like it. I like it a lot. Right, so this video is getting really long, so I'm going to have to try and speed this up, but there's one more thing I want to show, which is CCM. Right, so I'm at the pig farm, and what we're going to be doing is we're going to be making some CCM. So what is CCM? Well, CCM is corn cob mix. It's basically a floured or milled down version of corn that then gets fermented, in a sense. There's threshing involved and all that kind of stuff, but basically it's used for pig feed in the game. I won't go into too much detail, and if you want to make it for your pigs, I'm going to quickly just show you how to do that. So the first thing you need is you need a field of corn or maize. You then need to harvest it like you would if you were going to sell it as grain. Get a trailer load of corn, bring it over to the pig farm or wherever you want to do this bit, and first thing we're going to convert this corn into CCM raw, so corn flour. I've set up some conveyor belt system, and then I've got this. This is a little mill, let's call it, to make CCM raw from corn. To find it, you need to go into the tools tab, you need to go to miscellaneous, and then you'll find it. I've got a lot of mods, so it will be there somewhere. It's there. So this is the CCM mill. So this comes with the map. I think it comes with the map. It either comes with the map or the CCM mod itself. I'm not entirely sure now, but it's one of the two. So if you're doing CCM, you'll have it anyway, because if you're playing on this map, you'll have it, and if you've got the CCM extension, then you'll have it. So you'll need that first. And what you're going to do is you're going to tip your corn. That's then going to go up the conveyor belt. Just leave that tipping, it doesn't really matter. It's then going to go into here. You then can buy this thing called Luprosil, or Luprosil. It's again under pallets. And there's the MAIZE+. So you've got there CCM extension, so it comes with the CCM extension. It's basically used inside this mill thing to reduce fermentation, but also improves the yield that you get. So if you want to use that, all you got to do is take it over to there. What I'll do, jump in the tractor that you've got attached to it, and then fill it up like I have done. Now you can see in the bottom right, it says that the mill itself is full with corn, but also full with Luprosil. So all you do then, you don't have to turn the actual piece of kit on. All you have to do to get the raw CCM is get a trailer and a tractor, drive underneath it. And now as you can see, raw CCM corn flour is going into the trailer. But that isn't the finished product. The finished product is fermented CCM. There's only one way to do that, and that is by having this silo on the pig farm. So if you, I'm sure you can use it even if you don't own the pig farm. So keep that in mind as well, so you don't have to own the pig farm. But then again, why would you be doing pig food if you didn't own the pig farm? So all you do is you go over to the silo itself, the bunker. It's technically like a bunker, so you're fermenting a product inside it. You then tip it. That will go up at some point. Takes obviously a little bit of time to ferment. Whoop. And there you can see it's recognised how much I've put in. And then when obviously it's processed it, as you can see it's processed 50% of it. If we speed up time real quick, there you go, we got quite a bit more there. And then all you have to do then is put a trailer underneath and fill it up. And now you've got a CCM from your corn. It's fermented, and all you have to do really is go and feed the pigs. So that's that. So yeah, hopefully it's helped you. I've shown you maize silage on Charwell, grass silage on Charwell, whole crop silage on Charwell, and then CCM on Charwell. If it's helped you, give the video a thumbs up. I appreciate that every time. And also subscribe to my YouTube channel for more videos on Farming Simulator. See ya.